Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This session is going to be recorded. Just if you know someone who might be interested in hearing this information and couldn't join us for agenda setups, they can look at this recording in a couple of days on our webpage. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. It's a great opportunity for us to be partnering up this year with the University of Omaha at Nebraska. They have great programs. They have they have great programs. And here we have the representative, Luisa Ehrlich, and Ehrlich. She will be speaking with you guys. So please make sure you ask her the questions you might have about application process, scholarships, tuition fees, etc., etc. You're going to be delighted to hear about tuition fees because it's quite different from what we're used to, and this is good news that we have a great university here with us. So thank you so much for the opportunity, Luisa, and we can leave the questions at the end if everyone's okay with it.
Sounds great. So I'll just go ahead and start sharing a little bit more about the University of Nebraska at Omaha. As Sophia said, my name is Louisa Ehrlich, and I am the Assistant Director for Global Partnerships at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And I work in our Office of International Programs, which is a really great office and hopefully one that you will get to know if you do come here. To start off, I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page and we all know where Nebraska is. So on the screen, there is a map that you can kind of see outlined of the United States, and really right in the middle is Nebraska, and the red dot is pretty much where Omaha, our city, is located. So we kind of are in between that Midwest and the Great Plains region. And if you know anything about those regions, they are known for being very kind and welcoming, and also very affordable. A little bit about our university. So the University of Nebraska at Omaha was founded in 1908. So we've been around for a little while now. And it is the only public metropolitan university in Nebraska. So this is something that we actually have to be designated as. It's not something that we can just call ourselves. And the designation is really about our how much we connect with our community. So the city of Omaha and the service learning that we do. So you'll find that service learning or volunteering is a big part of your education at UNO as well, and that we really work with our community members a lot. In fact, we do have a large Hispanic population in the community and at the University of Nebraska at Omaha itself. As with pretty much any university or even college in the United States, we have our very own mascot. His name is Durango, and that is him there on the screen. He is a red maverick bull. So someone who is a maverick is someone who's keen to take maybe some slight risks for the sake of innovation and exploration. So we really, I think, ring true to that here. And our team color is black and then a little bit of red. And again, our nickname is the Maverick. So if you come to UNO, you will become a UNO Maverick. And that is also our sports team. At UNO, our main sport is hockey. That's the one that we are the biggest on, but we also have a number of Division I sports that we are part of, including men's and women's soccer teams, golf, tennis, track and field, all kinds of things there. So at UNO, the size of the school is what we would consider to be a mid-sized institution, so not large and not super small. We're in that middle range. So our total enrollment is around 15,000 students, both graduate or master's degree and undergraduate or bachelor's degree students. Most of our population is in the undergraduate, but for international students, most of our international students are actually graduate students. And I'll talk more about our graduate master's programs here just in a moment. So in total, we have over 600 international students earning their degree at UNO. So we have a really great population of students from around the world that bring a lot to our campus and to our community. And because we are medium sized, we're able to keep our classroom faculty or student to faculty ratio very manageably like small. So you're going to know who your instructor is. They will know who you are. It's not these humongous classes where they might not even know if you show up. So 20-1 for the undergraduate, and then for graduate level, 8-1. So you really get that kind of tailored education. You can connect with your instructors very easily. At UNO, we have numerous accreditations and classifications, and this is really important when you're looking at a program in the US or university in the US. You want to make sure that they are accredited because that means they are held to a certain standard for their curriculum and it is trusted. So at UNO, we are accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, which is something that is for our region. So the university as a whole is accredited, and then um, within that, we also have AACSB accreditation in our College of Business, which is something that is recognized globally. And same with ABET accredited programs, which we have that accreditation in computer science and management information systems. So again, that's an international accreditation. And then also we are classified as a doctoral university for moderate research activity. So if you are interested in research, we do have that classification. And also for community engagement, like I said, Metropolitan University designation means service learning and community engagement. So that, again, we have that classification because that's something that's so important to us. So that curricular engagement and outreach partnerships. And also at UNO, so aside from those accreditations, we have a number of rankings that I think are really important to highlight because it's not just about the programs, it's about the city that you will be living in. You want to make sure that you like the city you live in. There's opportunity there outside of the classroom. You can make friends, you can get around easily, you enjoy your life there, and that will have an impact on your success as a student as well. So in terms of our city of Omaha, we are about 1 million people, so not a tiny city. It's not hugely overwhelming, but it means that there's enough to do. There are plenty of amenities within walking distance of our campus, sporting events, music festivals, farmers markets. Every summer we host the College World Series here. And we also have a number of Fortune 500 companies that are headquartered in Omaha. So definitely some opportunity there. In fact, we were named by Smart Asset as the #4 best city for young professionals, and are also #10 by newest US News and World Report for best states to find a job, and then also ranked in our bachelor's program and in public schools. So if you didn't know, University of Nebraska at Omaha is considered a public institution. So that means we receive funding from the community essentially. So a lot of really great things coming just from being in Omaha and in Nebraska. Just the location itself is really great. At UNO, we have a total of 6 colleges. So we are a university as a whole, and then within that, we have 6 different groupings, I guess you could say, of the academics. So those include the College of Business Administration, which has our business programs, the College of Information Science and Technology, which has those computer science, data analytics, bioinformatics programs, College of Education, Health and Human Sciences. So we have biomechanics and kinesiology, education, all within those, and public health as well. That's a really great one. And then College of Public Administration and Community Service. There you will find criminology, criminal justice, those programs, and aviation as well. College of Arts and Sciences, which has all of our arts and applied sciences, so biology, mathematics, physics, we've got psychology, modern languages, And then College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media, so journalism and mass communication, studio art, all of that. So in general, we would consider ourselves a comprehensive institution. I would like to point out that we don't technically have our engineering programs. Um, However, we do have software engineering because that would fall under computer science. So if software engineering is something you're interested, we definitely do have that as an option. So, of course, all the 6 colleges, there are many, many programs to choose from. We have numerous master's degree programs, but I wanted to share with you that when you are looking at an institution in the US, if you graduate from with a degree in the US as an international student, you are then eligible to apply for something called optional practical training, which allows you, I believe that's on the next slide, to work in the US on your current student visa for at least 1 year. However, if you take a program that is STEM approved, if you graduate from a STEM approved program, then you can add 2 more years to that post completion employment for a total of 3 years of work experience in your field in the US after you graduate without having to change your visa type. Um, Changing the visa type is a lot of work. So this is a nice perk of being on an F1 student visa and getting your degree from a US institution. So as you can see, there are business programs and computer science programs in there. Of course, there's some in arts and sciences such as mathematics. And then we've also got the biomechanics and kinesiology, so public health and human sciences. So a little bit across the board there for programs. Additionally, for OPT, our office helps support students interested in that piece of post-completion employment. So once you're in your final semester, that application process starts, you will come to our international student advisors and they will help you submit that or figure out how to submit that application, what information you need. They can help guide you on the process for where to start with finding a job. And just for your information, 1 out of every 2, so 50% of all of our international students apply for OPT, and OPT applications have a very, very high success rate. So it's extremely uncommon that if you apply for OPT, you don't get it. So I definitely recommend that you take that opportunity because students are so successful in being approved for OPT. So just a snapshot of our tuition and fees. So we do have what we call differential tuition. This is at the graduate level. So if you take courses in the College of Arts and Sciences, College of Education, Health and Human Sciences, Fine Arts and Media and Communication, or Public Administration and Community Services, your tuition will be a little bit different. College of Business and then IS&T have that differential tuition because the technology is so high end. The instructors are experts in their field, not to say that they aren't in the other colleges, but we have a huge number of our students already going into these programs. And so it's really important that they know that they are getting that really quality education. So throughout all of these colleges, we have faculty that are from around the world, that are experts in their field, that do research with universities around the world as well, and even travel on behalf of UNO. So there's definitely some really amazing instructors that you can learn from at UNO that have experience, that have research, that have earned grants and things like that. And you'll also notice that room and board, this is for 1 academic year. So you split that. Room and board means your housing and your meals. So for 9 to 10 months, this would be what the cost is. So in terms of the national average, this is about 17% lower than the national average, which is really huge because usually the 2 biggest costs of an education in the US, of course, are the tuition, but it's also the housing. So you want to look at overall, what is the overall cost and how far will my money go and what is the value of my education? So the combination of our not only affordable tuition, but very affordable cost of living and housing, plus the general cost of living, so how much it costs to go out to eat, for example, or have something to take a break from your studies to enjoy your life. Um, with the rankings of the institution and of the city, you're getting a really great value, a really high quality of living for a really affordable cost. And so that's why so many people love Omaha and they love UNO because they have such a great balance of both. I do want to share that we do also offer graduate scholarship opportunities. So for the students interested in their master's programs here, which we have quite a few, you will be automatically considered for our scholarships up to $5,000 per year. And that will come off of the tuition portion directly. And every master's program is 2 years. So you would have a 2-year degree. So you would get that scholarship award for those 2 years, essentially. The other opportunity would be a graduate assistantship, which you may have heard of these. Graduate assistantships are actually selected by the department or the college that accepts you into their program. So you would have to contact them. These are particularly competitive because there are only a select number available. So I would say go ahead and apply, but plan on maybe not getting it just in case. So put your best foot forward, but also plan just in case. Also, a graduate assistantship, for those who don't know, it basically is a tuition waiver plus stipend that allows students. The reason that you would get that tuition waiver stipend is that you are working or doing research for whoever your supervisor is. So your payment then is the tuition waiver and the stipend. So with our graduate programs, it's a fairly straightforward application process. We have an online application with a $50 application fee. We do require proof of English proficiency for most programs. It might depend on where you got your undergraduate degree from, in which case we could potentially waive the English proficiency requirement. But just ask if you aren't sure. We also require course by course transcript evaluation. We work with SpanTrans specifically to offer a discounted rate to students for that course by course transcript evaluation, but you can also get it from these other transcript evaluators, those being WES, ECE, and Educational Perspectives. Then that allows us to review the degree coming from a different institution outside of the US. And we're looking mostly for a 3.0 equivalent GPA on a 4.0 scale for admission purposes. And then with every program, so say you're in computer science and you're also looking at business administration, you might have 2 different program specific requirements for the application. One of them might require a statement of purpose and the other might require a resume. So you'll want to check that information on our website. If you're looking at maybe College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media, you might have an interview or audition, or Arts and Sciences if you're looking at music. So looking online, once you start that application process, you'll be communicated with by our graduate studies program, and they will help guide you through that information, but you'll also get access to something called MavLink, which is the student portal, and on there will be a to-do list. So that will also show you exactly what is needed. And it will it's like a checklist. So everything that you complete, that will go away, and then you'll be left with just the things that you still are missing for your application. I want to share with you here 2 QR codes. So these are really, really useful. The master's program application requirements provides a chart so that you can see, okay, if I'm looking at computer science and data analytics for my master's program, this is what I would need to submit. So data analytics requires 1 statement of purpose and no resume, but the computer science might require something else. Also, we do not require the GRE or GMAT for these programs, so that test is not required. We also most of our programs do not require letters of recommendation. I believe that data analytics does, so that's something to keep in mind. And then the graduate catalog, like I said, knowing what those program specific requirements are, you can find that information there as well. You can also see exactly what courses you will be expected to take in each of those programs. So if you want to know, okay, what will my 2 years in computer science look like, or in public health look like, you can take a look and see, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, or oh, I didn't realize there was that concentration available or emphasis area. That way you know ahead of time and you can make that informed decision of if this is the right program for you. And finally, I want to share with you a really awesome opportunity to actually hear from our current international students. So you don't have to take my word for it. Um, if you are interested in just asking about program details or connecting with other students at UNO that might be in your program, you can scan this QR code and it will take you to a website where you can look through who our current global ambassadors are and opt into chatting one-on-one with them based on they're a graduate student or they're a graduate student in information science and technology. And I have questions about what are the professors like? What are the class structures like? How did you find housing? That kind of thing. They're there to help you with that information. And that way you can also start building your own community in Omaha and at UNO before you even make a decision on whether you want to apply or come to earn your master's degree at UNO. So with that, I am happy to take any questions that we may have that come through. And I will also leave on this page for anyone who may want to use the QR code.
Thank you so much, Luisa. That was great hearing from you and the university and Omaha. Being from Mexico, sometimes we don't know a lot of what goes on in the Midwest and in the central part of the United States. So it's great to hear from someone that lives there, that actually enjoys the city and how much it has to offer people coming from Mexico. So we have a question from Anna. Good morning. Are we able to work a part-time job on the student visa?
That's a really great question. So on the F1 visa, which pretty much any student will be on when they're earning a degree in the US, you are eligible to work part-time on campus. So it would need to be an on-campus position, but there are plenty of those. International students apply for them all the time. There may also be opportunities for something called curricular practical training, which allows you to work off campus. It does need to be related to your degree program and is what you could think of more like an internship opportunity. But that does require a little bit of extra documentation. So the best thing to do would be just find that on-campus job, and we have resources for that.
Awesome. Do you have a scholarship for excellence?
So that would be our international graduate scholarship. That is, we call it merit-based, but in other words, an excellence or academic excellence award. So based on your GPA, we will take a look at the time that you submit your application. If you are admitted, then we will automatically consider you for that scholarship and review your file for that award. So you don't need to submit any additional applications to receive or be reviewed at least for a scholarship from UNO.
No, that's great. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I will also mention that the deadlines for programs are going to differ. So because they are graduate programs, there's not one set deadline. Each department has their own. So using that graduate catalog will show you what the deadline is for each. Some of them will say maybe like February 1 and another might say January 15. So just double check there what that deadline is.
Thank you. There's another question. Is the $5,000 scholarship you mentioned funded by FUNED, or does FUNED give additional funding? If you want, I can answer this one.
Absolutely.
So that scholarship is a scholarship that UNO provides the scholars that are funded by FUNED. So it's from the university, but it's for people funded by FUNED. So first, what you have to do is apply to the University of Omaha, of Nebraska, sorry. And then once you get your acceptance letter, you apply to FUNED for funding. We can fund you from $5,000 up to $30,000, so almost what it would cost to live a year over there. And additionally, from that, you would get the $5,000 from the university once your funding is accepted from FUNED. So we have another question. Do you have any international relations, public politics, or government programs?
Yes, so we do have a master's degree in political science. At the undergraduate level, we have a few more options, but that would be the one I would direct you towards for a master's program.
Perfect. Good subject.
Excellent subject, yes.
So do you have, Luisa, do you have an email so the students can contact you?
Yes, I do. And I will type that in the chat here, and I will also say it. It is UNO International at unomaha.edu. And so that comes to our office. And then either myself or my colleagues will be able to reply. Some of you may be directed to our graduate studies office. It kind of depends on what the question is. So certainly start with us and we will get you where you need to go.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you tell us about the eligibility criteria for the FUNAD funding, please? Yeah, I can answer that as well. So first, as I mentioned, you have to have your acceptance letter from the university. So go ahead and start applying first. Then you need to be Mexican national. You need to have a GPA of 8 during from your bachelor's degree and 1 year work experience. And then you need to have a good historial crediticio, and you need to have a collateral, un aval. That's basically it. I will type our webpage here so you can see everything you need. So if you guys have any other questions, you can also open your microphones. Don't be shy. Or if not, you can reach out later on if questions come up during the day or the week. That happens to me. So we would be more than happy to answer your questions, and we would be more than happy to look at your applications in the near future. Where can we find the cost of the programs?
Sorry, trying to unmute myself too. So up here is the current costs for one academic year. So the total estimated cost would include not only all of your tuition and fees, but also an estimate for how much books might cost, what you might expect for housing and meals, health insurance, which is required, and then any other additional expenses, personal expenses or miscellaneous. So if you go out to eat or you take a trip or something like that, that's not calculated into tuition and fees. So really the things that you would be paying for tuition, you would be paying for tuition or billed for tuition and then billed for health insurance. And then depending on your books, where you buy your books or your housing, if you choose to live on campus or off campus, and other expenses, those may either be billed by UNO or elsewhere. So like if you live off campus, we would not bill you for that. That would be your just normal rent that you would pay to your rent company or leasing office. For books and supplies, that's just going to vary based on the courses that you take, the program that you're in, if you're buying new or used, if you're buying from the UNO bookstore or from a different seller. So those are just estimates that you can expect. But the reason that we have this total estimated cost is because when you apply to a university in the US, in order to get a student visa, an F1 student visa, you have to provide proof of financial means, which means that the US government requires that we verify that bolded amount to ensure that you will be able to have housing and that, you know, if something were to happen, that you are not going to be out of a house or unable to take your classes or something like that.
Thank you, Luisa. When you apply for FUNED, we provide with a letter that you can use on your visa application. That it tells the amount of money you're getting from FUNED, so they know that you're gonna get that amount once your program starts. We have a question in Spanish from Mauricio. He asked if it's possible to have investigation stashes or exchange with investigators, like an exchange program.
So we do offer exchange, like study exchange opportunities. Is that the question?
I guess so, for investigators.
So I guess for students, yes, we do offer exchange opportunities even at the graduate level. I'm not quite sure what you mean by investigators, unless that's the program that you're referring to. So in that sense, criminology or criminal justice would kind of be what I am thinking of, which we do have master's programs in there as well. Otherwise, if you're kind of talking about maybe like an internship, that's something that we can also help you with once you're at the university.
So Gabriela asks if the amount required to get the I-20 visa FUNED funding approval enough to get the I-20 as proof of funds for the visa interview. So we rarely give funds for the entirety of the programs. You need to have other funding places that you're getting the money from. So it can either be a scholarship or it can be another loan from, for example, FIDER or something like that, or maybe personal resources that you've saved up in the last couple of years or something like that. So the letter from FUNED helps as proof that you're going to get that money, but it rarely covers the entirety of the programs.
And I will add that on the I-20, there, like if you have the UNO scholarship and then some funding from FUNED, we can put those amounts on there and reduce the number then that is required of you to provide proof of from your personal finances. Or again, as Sophia said, if you have other sponsors, then we can add those in as well, and that brings that cost down. So kind of between scholarships and FUNED and personal finances, that combination we see a lot from students of having sponsors and then their own funds and scholarships to meet that requirement on the I-20. They can then take not only that I-20, but those scholarship and award letters with them to the visa interview. And that basically verifies or provides proof that you have that scholarship, and then what is on the I-20 is also accurate.
Perfect.
And that proof is only required one time, and that is because it's so that you can get the visa. You don't have to provide that proof of financial means to UNO every year or every semester. It's just the one time to get that visa interview.
Perfect. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I just want to thank you so much, Luisa, for your time. I encourage everyone to read more about the university, find out the programs and the application deadlines for the programs you're interested in. So you can start your application process, and we'll be more than happy to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much for everyone who joined. And yes, please email us at the email I indicated, and I hope to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Luisa. Thank you, everyone. Gracias
Bye.
a todos. Buen día.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.